because I had a friend that watched him jerk off decades ago because she thought it was funny. She didn't have a problem. He asked politely, is this something you'd be into? She watched him jerk off in a fucking ladies' room. And she came up, we were sharing a room at a function, and she goes, I just watched Louis C.K. jerk off. I go, you never watched me jerk off. No, I'm jerking off. She goes, help yourself. And I tried to jerk off to porn. I probably couldn't finish because we were friends and I probably laughed too much. Hedberg was in the room, according to her version of the story. He came out of the bathroom while I was jerking off, and I don't remember that part, but, hey, believe women. Anyway, then this whole thing someone wrote, Gawker Jezebel wrote a thing, America's funniest comedian and sitcom auteur, has he been jerking off in front of women? It's like 2012 or something. So I jumped in and I wrote, yeah, that was me. And I wrote a whole story. Yeah, and I took full credit for it. Just because it's funny that I would be America's funniest comedian and sitcom auteur. Then a few years later, the rumor mill keeps building. All I know is that the girl I jerked off in front of and Louis jerked off in front. She thought it was funny. And so this guy, can I read this? Do we have time?
Yeah, we got time. We got nothing but time.
So I think it was 2012, one of the Gawker Jezebel, one of those people came out with this mysterious comedian who jerks off in front of ladies. And from what my experience was, yeah, it was very polite. And I've jerked off in front of 1 million ladies. And a lot of them probably didn't want to see it, but they said yes. I mean, I've done so much worse shit than a lot of these people. Hang on, where's this fucking thing? Jerking off, that would probably be the one. So 3 years later, someone's back on the Louis C.K. thing, trying to fucking out him. And this guy, Gawker, was Gawker. He wanted to know what I knew because I took credit earlier and he knew that it was facetious. So I wrote back to him, Jordan, your infatuation, when I fucked this up, imagine how long it took me to read my audiobook version. Jordan, your infatuation with comics masturbating in front of one another is as troubling as it is uninformed. Comics on any professional level masturbate at each other in the same way urban dancers might step to one another. Your opponent can then choose to try to match you and top your style and intensity, or simply concede defeat and walk away. Blocking the door with your back is an unspoken regulation, not to keep someone from leaving, but to keep non-comics from walking in and blowing it out of proportion. People like you. This isn't just a common practice with male comedians either. I can't count the number of times lady comics have clammed off at me in a green room. Tig Notaro, Bonnie McFarlane, Jackie Cation, and even the legendary Roseanne Barr have all beat me under the table, figuratively and literally. Did I cry foul or shout, hey, I have to use that microphone? No, I chalked it up to paying your dues and pulled stronger wood the next time. It's not about being sexually untowards. It's an age-old comedy practice meant to instill courage, pride, and to pump each other up before the show. The conveniently anonymous comedian sources may have stepped on an open mic here or there, but that doesn't qualify you as a true working comic any more than going to the batting cages makes you a baseball player. Baseball players who also legendarily jerk off in front of one another. I once went head-to-head with former Atlanta Braves pitcher John Rocker, who used the same antique as his slider and made me look a fool. Andy Kindler is a proficient club wanker, notorious for turning his back to you during the ordeal. Maria Bamford prefers to smush it up to a window, which is why I never got ground room floors on the road with her. Ron White never even puts down his cigar and scotch. These people aren't perverts. These people aren't perverts. They're sophisticates with a respect for tradition. Jesus, this goes on a long fucking time. As for the alleged female comedy duo in Aspen, luring other acts to their room with the promise of illicit narcotics, you had to remember the fucking allegations at the time, you penned an article alluding to me making spank in front of them, yet coyly left out the fact that they had really shitty weed. That's yellow journalism. I'd offer you the old adage, write about what you know, and that certainly isn't stand-up comedy. Slapping off one's genitals in private comedy circles is as much a staple as the joy buzzer or whoopee cushion. The original Friar Club roasts were bar door. The original Friars Club roast were bar-doored bukkake sessions, mostly because everyone back then was scared the other comics would steal their jokes. If you want to crucify Louis C.K., it should be for pirating my overhand downward twist execution without giving me credit. So, sorry that took too long, but the point is, back when all those rumors were spreading, all I knew was my story where it was completely consensual. And then when it came out in this whole Me Too thing, I got an email from that one old female comic friend saying, I was just thinking about you. I go, yeah, I was thinking about you too. We talked on the phone and she's, I go, are you coming out with this? She goes, no, I don't want to fucking be the one that was okay with it. Which is a serious other side of the coin. Like, a lot of chicks fucked Harvey Weinstein hoping to get a part. And they're not going to come out and go, yeah, I just went through with it. It just seemed funny at the time because they'd be as castigated as him. Like, you just fanned the flames of that problem. So